Proverbs, Children's English Bible. The entire texts of Proverbs.
These are the Proverbs of Solomon. He was the son of David and the king of Israel.
Proverbs teach you wisdom and train you. They help you understand wise sayings.
They provide you with training and help you live wisely. They lead to what is right and honest and fair.
They give understanding to childish people. They give knowledge and good sense to those who are young.
Let wise people listen and add to what they have learned. Let those who understand what is right get guidance.
What I'm teaching also helps you understand proverbs and stories. It helps you understand the sayings and riddles of those who are wise.
If you really want to gain knowledge, you must begin by having respect for the Lord. But foolish people hate wisdom and training.
My son, listen to your father's advice. Don't turn away from your mother's teaching.
What they teach you will be like a beautiful crown on your head. It will be like a chain to decorate your neck.
My son, if sinners tempt you, don't give in to them.
They might say, "Come along with us. Let's hide and wait to spill someone's blood. Let's catch some harmless people in our trap.
Let's swallow them alive, as the grave does. Let's swallow them whole, like those who go down into the pit.
We'll get all kinds of valuable things. We'll fill our houses with what we steal.
Come and join our gang. We'll share everything we have."
My son, don't go along with them. Don't even set your feet on their paths.
They are always in a hurry to sin. They are quick to spill someone's blood.
How useless it is to spread a net while all the birds are watching.
Those who hide and wait will spill their own blood. They will be caught in their own trap.
That's what happens to everyone who goes after money in the wrong way. That kind of money takes away the lives of those who get it.
Wisdom calls out in the street. She raises her voice in public places.
At the noisy street corners she cries out. Here is what she says near the gates of the city.
How long will you childish people love your childish ways? How long will you rude people enjoy making fun of God and others? How long will you foolish people hate knowledge?
Suppose you had paid attention to my warning. Then I would have poured out my heart to you. I would have told you what I was thinking.
But you turned away from me when I called out to you. None of you paid attention when I reached out my hand.
You turned away from all my advice. You wouldn't accept my warning.
So I will laugh at you when you are in danger. I will make fun of you when hard times come.
I will laugh when hard times hit you like a storm. I will laugh when danger comes your way like a windstorm. I will make fun of you when suffering and trouble come.
Then you will call to me, but I won't answer. You will look for me, but you won't find me.
You hated knowledge. You didn't choose to have respect for the Lord.
You wouldn't accept my advice. You turned your backs on my warnings.
So you will eat the fruit of the way you have lived. You will choke on the fruit of what you have planned.
Childish people go down the wrong path. They will die. Foolish people are satisfied with the way they live. They will be destroyed.
But those who listen to me will live in safety. They will not worry. They won't be afraid of getting hurt. My son, accept my words. Store up my commands inside you.
Let your ears listen to wisdom. Apply your heart to understanding.
Call out for the ability to be wise. Cry out for understanding.
Look for it as you would look for silver. Search for it as you would search for hidden treasure.
Then you will understand how to have respect for the Lord. You will find out how to know God.
The Lord gives wisdom. Knowledge and understanding come from his mouth.
He stores up success for honest people. He is like a shield to those who live without blame. He keeps them safe.
He guards the path of those who are honest. He watches over the way of his faithful ones.
You will understand what is right and honest and fair. You will understand the right way to live.
Your heart will become wise. Your mind will delight in knowledge.
Good sense will keep you safe. Understanding will guard you.
Wisdom will save you from the ways of evil men. It will save you from men who twist their words.
Men like that leave the straight paths to walk in dark ways.
They take delight in doing what is wrong. They take joy in twisting everything around.
Their paths are crooked. Their ways are not straight.
Wisdom will save you from a woman who commits adultery. It will save you from a sinful wife and her tempting words.
She leaves the man she married when she was young. She breaks the promise she made to her God.
Her house leads down to death. Her paths lead to the spirits of the dead.
No one who goes to her comes back or reaches the paths of life.
You will walk in the ways of good people. You will follow the paths of those who do right.
Honest people will live in the land. Those who are without blame will remain in it.
But sinners will be cut off from the land. Those who aren't faithful will be torn away from it.
More good things come from wisdom, my son. Do not forget my teaching. Keep my commands in your heart.
They will help you live for many years. They will bring you success.
Don't let love and truth ever leave you. Tie them around your neck. Write them on the tablet of your heart.
Then you will find favor and a good name in the eyes of God and people.
Trust in the Lord with all your heart. Do not depend on your own understanding.
In all your ways remember him. Then he will make your paths smooth and straight.
Don't be wise in your own eyes. Have respect for the Lord and avoid evil.
That will bring health to your body. It will make your bones strong.
Honor the Lord with your wealth. Give him the first share of all your crops.
Then your storerooms will be so full they can't hold everything. Your huge jars will spill over with fresh wine.
My son, do not hate the Lord's training. Do not object when he corrects you.
The Lord trains those he loves. He is like a father who trains the son he is pleased with.
Blessed is the one who finds wisdom. Blessed is the one who gains understanding.
Wisdom pays better than silver does. She earns more than gold does.
She is worth more than rubies. Nothing you want can compare with her.
Long life is in her right hand. In her left hand are riches and honor.
Her ways are pleasant ways. All her paths lead to peace.
She is a tree of life to those who hold her close. Those who hold on to her will be blessed.
By wisdom the Lord laid the earth's foundations. Through understanding he set the heavens in place.
By his knowledge the seas were separated, and the clouds dropped their dew.
My son, hold on to good sense and the understanding of what is right. Don't let them out of your sight.
They will be life for you. They will be like a gracious necklace around your neck.
Then you will go on your way in safety. You will not trip and fall.
When you lie down, you won't be afraid. When you lie down, you will sleep soundly.
Don't be terrified by sudden trouble. Don't be afraid when sinners are destroyed.
The Lord is the one you will trust in. He will keep your feet from being caught in a trap.
Don't hold back good from those who are worthy of it. Don't hold it back when you can help.
Suppose you have something to give. Don't say to your neighbor, "Come back later. I'll give it to you tomorrow."
Don't plan to harm your neighbor. He lives near you and trusts you.
Don't bring charges against a man without any reason. He has not harmed you.
Don't be jealous of a man who hurts others. Don't choose any of his ways.
The Lord really hates sinful people. But he makes honest people his closest friends.
The Lord puts a curse on the houses of sinners. but he blesses the homes of those who do what is right.
He laughs at proud people who make fun of others, but he gives grace to those who are not proud.
Wise people receive honor, but the Lord puts foolish people to shame. Wisdom is best. My children, listen to a father's teaching. Pay attention and gain understanding.
I give you good advice, so don't turn away from what I teach you.
I was once a young boy in my father's house. I was my mother's only child.
My father taught me. He said, "Hold on to my words with all your heart. Keep my commands. Then you will live."
Get wisdom. Get understanding. Don't forget my words. Don't turn away from them.
Stay close to wisdom, and she will keep you safe. Love her, and she will watch over you.
Wisdom is best. So get wisdom. No matter what it costs, get understanding.
Value wisdom, and she will lift you up. Hold her close, and she will honor you.
She will set a beautiful crown on your head. She will give you a glorious crown.
My son, listen. Accept what I say. Then you will live for many years.
I guide you in the way of wisdom. I lead you along straight paths.
When you walk, nothing will slow you down. When you run, you won't trip and fall.
Hold on to my teaching. Don't let it go. Guard it well. It is your life.
Don't take the path of evil people. Don't live the way sinners do.
Stay away from their path. Don't travel on it. Turn away from it. Go on your way.
Sinners can't sleep until they do what is evil. They can't rest until they make someone fall.
They do evil just as easily as they eat food. They hurt others as easily as they drink wine.
The path of those who do what is right is like the first gleam of dawn. It shines brighter and brighter until the full light of day.
But the way of those who do what is wrong is like deep darkness. They don't know what makes them trip and fall.
My son, pay attention to what I say. Listen closely to my words.
Don't let them out of your sight. Keep them in your heart.
They are life to those who find them. They are health to your whole body.
Above everything else, guard your heart. It is where your life comes from.
Don't speak with twisted words. Keep evil talk away from your lips.
Let your eyes look straight ahead. Keep looking right in front of you.
Make level paths for your feet to walk on. Only go on ways that are firm.
Don't turn to the right or left. Keep your feet from the path of evil. A warning against committing adultery. My son, pay attention to my wisdom. Listen carefully to my wise sayings.
Then you will continue to have good sense. Your lips will keep on speaking words of knowledge.
A woman who commits adultery has lips that drip honey. What she says is smoother than oil.
But in the end she is like bitter poison. She cuts like a sword that has two edges.
Her feet go down to death. Her steps lead straight to the grave.
She doesn't give any thought to her way of life. Her paths are crooked, but she doesn't realize it.
My sons, listen to me. Don't turn away from what I say.
Stay on a path far away from that evil woman. Don't even go near the door of her house.
If you do, you will give your best strength to others. You will give the best years of your life to someone who is mean.
Strangers will use up all of your wealth. Your hard work will make someone else rich.
At the end of your life you will groan. Your skin and your body will be worn out.
You will say, "How I hated to take advice. How my heart refused to be corrected.
I would not obey my teachers. I wouldn't listen to those who taught me.
I was almost totally destroyed. It happened right in front of the whole community."
Drink water from your own well. Drink running water from your own spring.
Should your springs pour out into the streets? Should your streams of water pour out in public places?
No. Let them belong to you alone. Never share them with strangers.
May your fountain be blessed. May the wife you married when you were young make you happy.
She is like a loving doe, a graceful deer. May her breasts always satisfy you. May you always be captured by her love.
My son, why be captured by a woman who commits adultery? Why hug the wife of another man?
The Lord watches a man's ways. He studies all of his paths.
A sinner is trapped by his own evil acts. He is held tight by the ropes of his sins.
He will die because he refused to be corrected. His sins will capture him because he was very foolish. Warnings against foolish acts. My son, don't put up money for what your neighbor owes. Don't agree to pay up for someone else.
Don't be trapped by what you have said. Don't be caught by the words of your mouth.
Instead, my son, do something to free yourself. Don't fall into your neighbor's hands. Don't be proud. Hurry and make your appeal to your neighbor.
Don't let your eyes go to sleep. Don't let your eyelids close.
As a deer frees itself from a hunter, free yourself. As a bird frees itself from a trapper, free yourself.
You people who don't want to work, think about the ant. Consider its ways and be wise.
It has no commander. It has no leader or ruler.
But it stores up its food in summer. It gathers its food at harvest time.
You lazy people, how long will you lie there? When will you get up from your sleep?
You might sleep a little or take a little nap. You might even fold your hands and rest.
Then you would be poor, as if someone had robbed you. You would have little, as if someone had stolen from you.
A worthless and evil man goes around saying twisted things with his mouth.
He winks with his eyes. He makes signals with his feet. He motions with his fingers.
His plans are evil. He has lies in his heart. He is always stirring up fights.
Trouble will catch up with him in an instant. He will suddenly be destroyed. Nothing can save him.
There are 6 things the Lord hates. In fact, he hates 7 things.
The Lord hates proud eyes, a lying tongue, and hands that kill those who aren't guilty.
He also hates hearts that make evil plans, feet that are quick to do evil.
Any witness who pours out lies, and anyone who stirs up family fights.
A warning against committing adultery. My son, keep your father's commands. Don't turn away from your mother's teaching.
Tie them to your heart forever. Put them around your neck.
When you walk, they will guide you. When you sleep, they will watch over you. When you wake up, they will speak to you.
Your father's commands are like a lamp. Your mother's teaching is like a light. And the training that corrects you leads to life.
It keeps you from a sinful woman. It keeps you from the smooth tongue of a woman who commits adultery.
Don't hunger in your heart after her beauty. Don't let her eyes capture you.
A prostitute leaves you with only a loaf of bread. Another man's wife hunts your very life.
You can't shovel fire into your lap without burning your clothes.
You can't walk on hot coals without burning your feet.
It's the same for anyone who has sex with another man's wife. Anyone who touches her will be punished.
People don't hate a thief who steals to fill his empty stomach.
But when he is caught, he must pay 7 times as much as he stole. It may even cost him everything he has.
A man who commits adultery has no sense. Anyone who does it destroys himself.
He will be beaten up and dishonored. His shame will never be wiped away.
Jealousy stirs up a husband's anger. He will show no mercy when he gets even.
He won't accept any payment. He won't take any money, no matter how much he is offered. A warning against a woman who commits adultery. My son, obey my words. store up my commands inside you.
Obey my commands and you will live. Guard my teachings as you would your own eyes.
Tie them on your fingers. Write them on the tablet of your heart.
Say to wisdom, you are my sister. Call understanding a member of your family.
They will keep you from a woman who commits adultery. They will keep you from the smooth talk of a sinful wife.
I stood at the window of my house. I looked out through it.
Among those who were childish I saw a young man who had no sense.
He went down the street near that sinful woman's corner. He walked toward her house.
The sun had gone down. Day was fading. The darkness of night was falling.
A woman came out to meet him. She was dressed like a prostitute and had a clever plan.
She was a loud and pushy woman. She never stayed at home.
Sometimes in the streets, sometimes at other places, at every corner she would wait.
She took hold of the young man and kissed him. With a bold face she spoke to him.
She said, "At home I have meat left over from my offerings. Today I offered what I had promised I would.
So I came out to meet you. I looked for you, and I have found you.
I have covered my bed with colored sheets from Egypt.
I've perfumed my bed with spices. I used myrrh, aloes and cinnamon.
Come, let's drink our fill of love until morning. Let's enjoy ourselves by having sex."
My husband isn't home. He's gone on a long journey.
He took his bag full of money. He won't be home for several days.
She led him down the wrong path with her clever words. She charmed him with her smooth talk.
All at once he followed her. He was like an ox going to be killed. He was like a deer stepping into a trap.
Until an arrow struck its liver. He was like a bird rushing into a trap. Little did he know it would cost him his life.
My sons, listen to me. Pay attention to what I say.
Don't let your hearts turn to her ways. Don't step onto her paths.
She has brought down a lot of men. She has killed a huge crowd.
Her house is a road to the grave. It leads down to the place of the dead. Wisdom is worth more than anything. Doesn't wisdom call out? Doesn't understanding raise her voice?
On the high roads along the way, she takes her place where the paths meet.
Beside the gates leading into the city, she cries out at the entrances.
She says, "Men, I call out to you. I raise my voice to all human beings.
You who are childish, get some good sense. You who are foolish, gain understanding.
Listen. I have worthy things to say. I open my lips to speak what is right.
My mouth speaks what is true. My lips hate evil.
All the words of my mouth are honest. None of them is twisted or sinful.
To those who have understanding, all my words are right. To those who have knowledge, they are true.
Choose my teaching instead of silver. Choose knowledge rather than fine gold.
Wisdom is worth more than rubies. Nothing you want can compare with her.
I, wisdom, live together with understanding. I have knowledge and good sense.
To have respect for the Lord is to hate evil. I hate pride and bragging. I hate evil ways and twisted words.
I have good sense and give good advice. I have understanding and power.
By me kings rule. Leaders make laws that are fair.
By me princes govern. By me all nobles rule on earth.
I love those who love me. Those who look for me find me.
With me are riches and honor. With me are lasting wealth and success.
My fruit is better than fine gold. My gifts are better than the finest silver.
I walk in ways that are honest. I take paths that are right.
I leave riches to those who love me. I give them more than they have room for.
The Lord created me as the first of his works, before his acts of long ago.
I was formed at the very beginning. I was formed before the world began.
Before there were any oceans, I was born. There weren't any springs of water at that time.
Before the mountains were settled in place, I was born. Before there were any hills, I was born.
It happened before the Lord made the earth and its fields. It was before he made the dust of the world.
I was there when he set the heavens in place. When he marked out the place where the sky meets the sea, I was there.
That was when he put the clouds above. It was when he fixed the ocean springs in place.
It was when he set limits for the sea so that the waters had to obey his command. When he marked out the foundations of the earth, I was there.
I was the skilled worker at his side. I was filled with delight day after day. I was always happy to be with him.
His whole world filled me with joy. I took delight in all human beings.
My children, listen to me. Blessed are those who keep my ways.
Listen to my teaching and be wise. Don't turn away from it.
Blessed is the one who listens to me. He watches every day at my doors. He waits beside my doorway.
Those who find me find life. They receive favor from the Lord.
But those who don't find me harm only themselves. Everyone who hates me loves death.
Wisdom and foolishness call out. Wisdom has built her house. She has made its 7 pillars.
She was prepared her meat and mixed her wine. She has also set her table.
She has sent out her female servants. She calls out from the highest point of the city.
She says, "Let all who are childish come in here." She speaks to those who have no sense.
Come and eat my food. Drink the wine I have mixed.
Leave your childish ways and you will live. Walk in the way that leads to understanding.
When you correct someone who makes fun of others, you might be laughed at. When you warn a sinner, you might get hurt.
Don't warn those who make fun of others. They will hate you. Warn those who are wise. They will love you.
Teach a wise man. He will become even wiser. Teach a person who does right. He will learn even more.
If you really want to become wise, you must begin by having respect for the Lord. To know the Holy One is to gain understanding.
Through me, you will live a long time. Years will be added to your life.
If you are wise, your wisdom will reward you. If you make fun of others, you alone will suffer.
The woman called foolishness is loud. She doesn't control herself. She doesn't know anything.
She sits at the door of her house. She sits at the highest point of the city.
She calls out to those who pass by. She calls out to those who go straight on their way.
She says, "Let all who are childish come in here." She speaks to those who have no sense.
She says, "Stolen water is sweet. Food eaten in secret tastes good."
But they don't know that dead people are there. They don't know that her guests are in the deepest parts of the grave.
The Proverbs of Solomon. These are the Proverbs of Solomon. A wise son makes his father glad, but a foolish son brings sorrow to his mother.
Riches that are gained by sinning aren't worth anything, but doing what is right saves you from death.
The Lord gives those who do right the food they need, but he lets those who do wrong go hungry.
Hands that don't want to work make you poor, but hands that work hard bring wealth to you.
A child who gathers crops in summer is wise, but a child who sleeps at harvest time brings shame.
Blessings are like crowns on the heads of those who do right, but the trouble caused by what sinners say destroys them.
To remember those who do right is a blessing, but the names of those who do wrong will rot.
A wise heart accepts commands, but foolish chattering destroys you.
Anyone who lives without blame walks safely, but anyone who takes a crooked path will get caught.
An evil wink gets you into trouble, and foolish chattering destroys you.
The mouths of those who do right are a fountain of life, But the trouble caused by what sinners say destroys them.
Hate stirs up fights, but love erases all sins by forgiving them.
Wisdom is found on the lips of those who understand what is right, but those who have no sense are punished.
Wise people store up knowledge, but the mouths of foolish people destroy them.
The wealth of rich people is like a city that makes them feel safe, but having nothing destroys those who are poor.
People who do what is right earn life, but what sinners earn causes them to be punished.
Anyone who pays attention to his training is on his way to life, but anyone who refuses to be corrected leads others down the wrong path.
Anyone who hides hatred has lying lips, and anyone who spreads lies is foolish.
Those who talk a lot are likely to sin, but those who control their tongues are wise.
The tongues of those who do right are like fine silver, but the hearts of those who do wrong aren't worth very much.
The words of those who do right benefit many people, but those who are foolish die because they have no sense.
The blessing of the Lord brings wealth. Trouble doesn't come with it.
A foolish person finds pleasure in doing evil things, but a man who has understanding takes delight in wisdom.
What sinners are afraid of will catch up with them, but those who do right will get what they want.
When the storm is over, sinners are gone, but those who do right stand firm forever.
Anyone who doesn't want to work hurts those who send him. He is like vinegar on the teeth or smoke in the eyes.
Having respect for the Lord leads to a longer life, but the years of evil people are cut short.
Those who do right can expect joy, but the hopes of sinners are bound to fail.
The way of the Lord leads to a safe place for those who do right, but it destroys those who do evil.
Those who do right will never be removed from the land, but those who do wrong will not remain in it.
The mouths of those who do right produce wisdom, but tongues that speak twisted words will be cut out.
Those who do right know the proper thing to say, but those who do wrong speak only twisted words.
The Lord hates it when people use scales to cheat others, but he is delighted when people use honest weights.
When pride comes, shame follows, but wisdom comes to those who are not proud.
Those who do what is right are guided by their honest lives, but those who aren't faithful are destroyed by their trickery.
Wealth isn't worth anything when God judges you, but doing what is right saves you from death.
The ways of honest people are made straight because they do what is right, but those who do what is wrong are brought down by their own sins.
Godly people are saved by doing what is right, but those who aren't faithful are trapped by evil longings.
When an evil man dies, his hope dies with him. Everything he expected to gain from his power will be lost.
Those who do right are saved from trouble, but trouble comes on those who do wrong.
With their words, ungodly people destroy their neighbors, but those who do what is right escape because of their knowledge.
When those who do right succeed, their city is glad. When those who do wrong die, people shout for joy.
The blessing of honest people builds up a city, but the words of sinners destroy it.
A person who has no sense makes fun of his neighbor, but a man who has understanding controls his tongue.
Those who talk about others tell secrets, but those who can be trusted keep things to themselves.
Without the guidance of good leaders a nation falls, but many good advisors can save it.
Anyone who puts up money for what someone else owes will certainly suffer, but a person who doesn't agree to pay up for someone else is safe.
A woman who has a kind heart gains respect, but men who are not kind gain only wealth.
A kind man benefits himself, but a mean person brings trouble on himself.
Those who do what is wrong really earn nothing, but those who plant what is right will certainly be rewarded.
Right living leads to life, but anyone who runs after evil will die.
The Lord hates those whose hearts are twisted, but he is pleased with those who live without blame.
You can be sure that sinners will be punished, and you can also be sure that godly people will go free.
A beautiful woman who has no sense is like a gold ring in a pig's nose.
What godly people long for ends only in what is good, but what sinners hope for ends only in God's anger.
Some give freely but get even richer. Others don't give what they should but get even poorer.
Anyone who gives a lot will succeed. Anyone who renews others will be renewed.
People call down curses on those who store up grain for themselves, but blessing makes those who are willing to sell feel like kings.
Anyone who looks for what is good finds favor, but bad things happen to a person who plans to do evil.
Those who trust in their riches will fall, but those who do right will be as healthy as a green leaf.
Those who bring trouble on their families will receive nothing but wind, and foolish people will serve wise people.
The fruit that godly people bear is like a tree of life, and those who lead others to do what is right are wise.
Godly people get what they should get on earth, so ungodly people and sinners will certainly get what they should get. Anyone who loves to be trained loves knowledge. Anyone who hates to be corrected is stupid.
The Lord blesses anyone who does good, but he judges any man who is tricky.
If a man does what is evil, he can't become strong and steady. But if people do what is right, they can't be removed from the land.
A noble wife is her husband's crown, but a wife who brings shame is like sickness in his bones.
The plans of godly people are right, but the advice of sinners will lead you the wrong way.
The words of those who are evil hide and wait to spill people's blood, but the speech of those who are honest saves them from traps like that.
Sinners are destroyed and taken away, but the houses of godly people stand firm.
A man is praised for how wise he is, but people hate those who have twisted minds.
Being nobody and having a servant is better than pretending to be somebody and having no food.
Those who do what is right take good care of their animals, but the kindest acts of those who do wrong are mean.
Anyone who farms his land will have plenty of food, but a person who chases dreams has no sense.
Those who do what is wrong want to steal from others, but those who do what is right bear good fruit because of their deep roots.
A sinner is trapped by his sinful talk, but a godly person escapes trouble.
Many good things come from what a man says, and the work of his hands rewards him.
The way of a foolish person seems right to him, but a wise person listens to advice.
Foolish people are easily upset, but wise people pay no attention to hurtful words.
An honest witness tells the truth, but a dishonest witness tells lies.
Thoughtless words cut like a sword, but the tongue of wise people brings healing.
Truthful words last forever, but lies last for only a moment.
There are lies in the hearts of those who plan evil, but there is joy for those who work to bring peace.
No harm comes to godly people, but sinners have all the trouble they can handle.
The Lord hates those whose lips tell lies, but he is pleased with people who tell the truth.
Wise people keep their knowledge to themselves, but the hearts of foolish people shout foolish things.
Hands that work hard will rule, but people who don't want to work will become slaves.
Worry makes a man's heart heavy, but a kind word cheers him up.
Godly people are careful about the friends they choose, but the way of sinners leads them down the wrong path.
Anyone who refuses to work doesn't even cook what he catches, but a man who works hard values what he has.
There is life in doing what is right, Along that path you will never die.
A wise child pays attention to what his father teaches him. But anyone who makes fun of others doesn't listen to warnings.
The good things a man says benefit him, but a liar loves to hurt others.
Anyone who guards what he says guards his life. But anyone who speaks without thinking will be destroyed.
People who refuse to work want things and get nothing. But the longings of people who work hard are completely satisfied.
Those who do right hate what is false. But those who do wrong bring shame and dishonor.
Doing right guards those who are honest, but evil destroys those who are sinful.
Some people pretend to be rich but have nothing. Others pretend to be poor but have great wealth.
A man who is rich might have to pay to save his life, but a poor person is not in danger of that.
The lights of godly people shine brightly, but the lamps of sinners are blown out.
Pride only leads to arguing, but those who take advice are wise.
Money that is gained in the wrong way disappears, but money that is gathered little by little grows.
Hope that is put off makes one sick at heart, but a longing that is met is like a tree of life.
Anyone who hates what he is taught will pay for it later. But a person who respects a command will be rewarded.
The teaching of wise people is like a fountain that gives life. It turns those who listen to it away from the jaws of death.
Good understanding wins favor, but the way of lies doesn't last.
Wise people act in keeping with the knowledge they have, but foolish people show how foolish they are.
An evil messenger gets into trouble, but a messenger who is trusted brings healing.
Those who turn away from their training become poor and ashamed, but those who accept warnings are honored.
A longing that is met is like something that tastes sweet, but foolish people hate to turn away from evil.
Anyone who walks with wise people grows wise, but a companion of foolish people suffers harm.
Hard times chase those who are sinful, but success is the reward of those who do right.
A good person leaves what he owns to his children and grandchildren, but a sinner's wealth is stored up for those who do right.
The fields of poor people might produce a lot of food, but those who beat them down destroy it all.
Those who don't correct their children hate them, but those who love them are careful to train them.
Those who do right eat until they are full, but the stomachs of those who do wrong go hungry. A wise woman builds her house, but a foolish woman tears hers down with her own hands.
An honest person has respect for the Lord, but a person whose paths are crooked hates him.
Foolish people are punished for what they say, but the things wise people say keep them safe.
Where there are no oxen, the feed box is empty, but a strong ox brings in a great harvest.
An honest witness does not lie, but a dishonest witness pours out lies.
Those who make fun of others look for wisdom and don't find it, but knowledge comes easily to those who understand what is right.
Stay away from a foolish man. You won't find knowledge in what he says.
People are wise and understanding when they think about the way they live, but people are foolish when their foolish ways trick them.
Foolish people laugh at making things right when they sin, but honest people try to do the right thing.
Each heart knows its own sadness, and no one else can share its joy.
The houses of sinners will be destroyed, but the tents of honest people will stand firm.
There is a way that may seem right to a man, but in the end it leads to death.
Even when you laugh, your heart can be hurting, and your joy can end in sadness.
Those who aren't faithful will be paid back for what they've done, and good men will receive rewards for how they've lived.
A childish person believes anything, but a wise person thinks about how he lives.
A wise person has respect for the Lord and avoids evil, but a foolish person gets mad and is thoughtless.
Anyone who gets angry quickly does foolish things, and a man who is tricky is hated.
Childish people act in keeping with their foolish ways, but knowledge makes wise people feel like kings.
Evil people will bow down in front of good people, and those who do wrong will bow down at the gates of those who do right.
Poor people are avoided even by their neighbors, but rich people have many friends.
Anyone who hates his neighbor commits sin, but blessed is the person who is kind to those in need.
Those who plan evil go down the wrong path, but those who plan good find love and truth.
All hard work pays off, but if all you do is talk, you will be poor.
The wealth of wise people is their crown, but the foolish ways of foolish people lead to what is foolish.
An honest witness saves lives, but a dishonest witness tells lies.
Anyone who shows respect for the Lord has a strong tower. It will be a safe place for his children.
Respect for the Lord is like a fountain that gives life. It turns you away from the jaws of death.
A large population is a king's glory, but a prince without followers is destroyed.
Anyone who is patient has great understanding, but anyone who gets angry quickly shows how foolish he is.
A peaceful heart gives life to the body, but jealousy rots the bones.
Anyone who crushes poor people makes fun of their maker, but anyone who is kind to those in need honors God.
When trouble comes, sinners are brought down, but godly people have a safe place even when they die.
Wisdom rests in the hearts of those who understand what is right, and even among foolish people she makes herself known.
Doing what is right lifts people up, but sin brings shame to any nation.
A king is pleased with a wise servant, but a servant who is full of shame invites the king's anger. A gentle answer turns anger away, but mean words stir up anger.
The tongues of wise people use knowledge well, but the mouths of foolish people pour out foolish words.
The eyes of the Lord are everywhere. They watch those who are evil and those who are good.
A tongue that brings healing is like a tree of life, but a tongue that tells lies produces a broken spirit.
A foolish person turns his back on how his father has trained him, but anyone who accepts being corrected shows understanding.
The houses of those who do what is right hold great wealth, but those who do what is wrong earn only trouble.
The lips of wise people spread knowledge, but that's not true of the hearts of foolish people.
The Lord hates the sacrifice of sinful people, but the prayers of honest people please him.
The Lord hates how sinners live, but he loves those who run after what is right.
Hard training is in store for anyone who leaves the right path. A person who hates to be corrected will die.
Death and the grave lie open in front of the Lord, so the hearts of mere men certainly lie open to him.
Anyone who makes fun of others doesn't like to be corrected. He won't ask wise people for advice.
A happy heart makes a face look cheerful, but a sad heart produces a broken spirit.
A heart that understands what is right looks for knowledge, but the mouths of foolish people feed on what is foolish.
All the days of those who are crushed are filled with pain and suffering, but a cheerful heart enjoys a good time that never ends.
It is better to have respect for the Lord and have little than to be rich and have trouble.
A meal of vegetables where there is love is better than the finest meat where there is hatred.
A man who burns with anger stirs up fights, but a person who is patient calms things down.
The way of people who don't want to work is blocked with thorns, but the path of honest people is a wide road.
A wise son makes his father glad, but a foolish son hates his mother.
A person who has no sense enjoys doing foolish things, but a man who has understanding walks straight ahead.
Plans fail without good advice, but they succeed when there are many advisors.
Joy is found in giving the right answer. And how good is a word spoken at the right time.
The path of life leads up for those who are wise. It keeps them from going down to the grave.
The Lord tears down the proud person's house, but he keeps the widow's property safe.
The Lord hates the thoughts of sinful people, but the thoughts of pure people are pleasing to him.
Anyone who always wants more brings trouble to his family, but a person who refuses to be paid off will live.
The hearts of those who do right think about how they will answer, but the mouths of those who do wrong pour out evil.
The Lord is far away from those who do wrong, but he hears the prayers of those who do right.
A cheerful look brings joy to your heart, and good news gives health to your body.
If you listen to a warning, you will live. You will be at home among those who are wise.
Anyone who turns away from his training hates himself, but anyone who accepts being corrected gains understanding.
Having respect for the Lord teaches you how to live wisely. So don't be proud if you want to be honored. People make plans in their hearts, but the Lord controls what they say.
Everything a man does might seem right to him, but the Lord knows what that man is thinking.
Commit to the Lord everything you do. Then your plans will succeed.
The Lord works everything out for his own purposes. Even those who do wrong were made for a day of trouble.
The Lord hates all those who have proud hearts. You can be sure that they will be punished.
Through love and truth sin is paid for. People avoid evil when they have respect for the Lord.
When the way you live pleases the Lord, he makes even your enemies live at peace with you.
It is better to have a little and do right than to have a lot and be unfair.
In your heart you plan your life, but the Lord decides where your steps will take you.
A king might speak as if his words come from God, but what he says should not turn right into wrong.
Honest scales and balances come from the Lord. He made all the weights in the bag.
A king hates it when his people do what is wrong. A ruler is made secure when they do what is right.
Kings are pleased when what you say is honest. They value people who speak the truth.
An angry king can order your death, but a wise man will try to calm him down.
When a king's face is happy, it means life. His favor is like rain in the spring.
It is much better to get wisdom than gold. It is much better to choose understanding than silver.
The path of honest people takes them away from evil. Those who guard their ways guard their lives.
If you are proud, you will be destroyed. If you are proud, you will fall.
Suppose you are lowly in spirit and are with those who are beaten down. That's better than sharing stolen goods with those who are proud.
If anyone pays attention to what he is taught, he will succeed. Blessed is the person who puts his trust in the Lord.
Wise hearts are known for understanding what is right. Pleasant words make people want to learn more.
Understanding is like a fountain of life to those who have it, but foolish people are punished for the foolish things they do.
The hearts of wise people guide their mouths. Their words make people want to learn more.
Pleasant words are like honey. They are sweet to the spirit and bring healing to the body.
There is a way that may seem right to a man, but in the end it leads to death.
The hunger of a worker makes him work. His hunger drives him on.
A worthless man plans to do evil things. His words are like a burning fire.
A twisted person stirs up fights. Anyone who talks about others comes between close friends.
A man who wants to hurt others tries to get them to sin. He leads them down a path that isn't good.
When he winks with his eyes, he is planning to do wrong. When his lips are tightly closed, he is up to no good.
Gray hair is a glorious crown. You get it by living the right way.
It is better to be patient than to fight. It is better to control your temper than to take a city.
Lots are cast into the lap to make decisions, but everything they decide comes from the Lord. It is better to eat a dry crust of bread in peace and quiet than to eat a big dinner in a house that is full of fighting.
A wise servant will rule over a shameful child. He will be given part of the property as if he were a family member.
Fire tests silver. Heat tests gold. But the Lord tests our hearts.
An evil person listens to evil words. A liar pays attention to words that are harmful.
Anyone who laughs at those who are poor makes fun of their maker. Anyone who is happy when others suffer will be punished.
Grandchildren are like a crown to older people, and children are proud of their parents.
It isn't proper for foolish people to brag, and it certainly isn't proper for rulers to tell lies.
Money buys favors for those who give it. No matter where they turn, they succeed.
Those who erase a sin by forgiving it show love, but those who talk about it come between close friends.
A person who understands what is right learns more from just a warning than a foolish person learns from 100 strokes with a whip.
An evil person never wants to obey. An official who shows no mercy will be sent against him.
It is better to meet a bear whose cubs have been stolen than to meet a foolish person who is acting foolishly.
Evil will never leave the house of anyone who pays back evil for good.
Starting to argue is like making a crack in a dam. So drop the matter before a fight breaks out.
The Lord hates two things. He hates it when the guilty are set free. He also hates it when those who aren't guilty are punished.
What good is money in the hands of a foolish person? He doesn't want to become wise.
A friend loves at all times. He is there to help when trouble comes.
A man who has little sense agrees to pay what other people owe. It isn't wise to put up money for others.
The one who loves to argue loves to sin. The one who builds a high gate is just asking to be destroyed.
If your heart is twisted, you won't succeed. If your tongue tells lies, you will get into trouble.
It is sad to have a foolish child. The parents of a foolish person have no joy.
A cheerful heart makes you healthy, but a broken spirit dries you up.
Anyone who does wrong accepts favors in secret. Then he turns what is right into wrong.
Anyone who understands what is right keeps wisdom in view, but the eyes of a foolish person look everywhere else.
A foolish child makes his father sad and his mother sorry.
It isn't good to punish those who aren't guilty. It isn't good to whip officials just because they are honest.
Anyone who has knowledge controls his words. A man who has understanding is not easily upset.
We think even a foolish person is wise if he keeps silent. We think he understands what is right if he controls his tongue.
A person who isn't friendly looks out only for himself. He opposes all good sense.
A foolish person doesn't want to understand. He takes delight in saying only what he thinks.
People hate it when evil comes, and they refuse to honor those who bring shame.
The words of a person's mouth are like deep water, but the fountain of wisdom is like a flowing stream.
It isn't good to favor those who do wrong, and it isn't good to hold back what is fair from those who aren't guilty.
What a foolish person says leads to arguing. He is just asking for a beating.
The words of a foolish person drag him down. He is trapped by what he says.
The words of anyone who talks about others are like tasty bites of food. They go deep down inside you.
Anyone who doesn't want to work is like someone who destroys.
The name of the Lord is like a strong tower. Godly people run to it and are safe.
The wealth of rich people is like a city that makes them feel safe. They think of it as a city with walls that can't be climbed.
If a man's heart is proud, he will be destroyed. So don't be proud if you want to be honored.
To answer before listening is foolish and shameful.
A man's cheerful heart gives him strength when he is sick. You can't keep going if you have a broken spirit.
Those whose hearts understand what is right get knowledge. The ears of those who are wise listen for it.
A gift opens the way for the one who gives it. It helps him meet important people.
The first one to tell his case seems right. Then someone else comes forward and questions him.
Casting lots will put a stop to arguing. It will keep the strongest enemies apart.
A broken friendship is harder to deal with than a city that has high walls around it. And arguing is like the locked gates of a mighty city.
A man can fill his stomach with what he says. The words from his lips can satisfy him.
Your tongue has the power of life and death. Those who love to talk will eat the fruit of their words.
The one who finds a wife finds what is good. He receives favor from the Lord.
Poor people beg for mercy, but rich people answer in a mean way.
Even a man who has many companions can be destroyed. But there is a friend who sticks closer than a brother.
It is better to be poor and to live without blame than to be foolish and to twist words around.
It isn't good to get all stirred up without knowledge. And it isn't good to be in a hurry and miss the way.
A man's own foolish acts destroy his life, but his heart is angry with the Lord.
Wealth brings many friends, but the friends of poor people leave them alone.
A dishonest witness will be punished, and those who pour out lies will not go free.
Many try to win the favor of rulers, and everyone is the friend of a man who gives gifts.
A poor person is avoided by his whole family. His friends avoid him even more. The poor person runs after them to beg, but he can't find them.
Anyone who gets wisdom loves himself. Anyone who values understanding succeeds.
A dishonest witness will be punished, and those who pour out lies will die.
It isn't proper for a foolish person to live in great comfort. And it is much worse when a slave rules over princes.
A man's wisdom makes him patient. He will be honored if he forgives someone who sins against him.
A king's anger is like a lion's roar, but his favor is like dew on the grass.
If a child is foolish, he destroys his father. A nagging wife is like dripping that never stops.
You will receive houses and wealth from your parents, but a wise wife is given by the Lord.
Anyone who doesn't want to work sleeps his life away, and a person who refuses to work goes hungry.
Those who obey what they are taught guard their lives, but those who don't care how they live will die.
Anyone who is kind to poor people lends to the Lord. God will reward him for what he has done.
Train your child, then there is hope. Don't do anything to bring about his death.
Anyone who burns with anger must pay for it. If you save him, you will have to do it again.
Listen to advice and accept what you are taught. In the end you will be wise.
A man may have many plans in his heart, but the Lord's purpose wins out in the end.
Every man longs for love that never fails. It is better to be poor than to be a liar.
Having respect for the Lord leads to life. Then you will be content and free from trouble.
A person who doesn't want to work leaves his hand in the dish. He won't even bring it back up to his mouth.
If you whip a person who makes fun of others, childish people will learn to be wise. If you warn someone who already understands what is right, he will gain even more knowledge.
A child who robs his father and drives out his mother brings shame and dishonor.
My son, if you stop listening to what I teach you, You will wander away from the words of knowledge.
A dishonest witness makes fun of what is right. The mouths of those who do wrong gulp down evil.
Those who make fun of others will be judged. Foolish people will be punished. Wine causes you to make fun of others, and beer causes you to start fights. Anyone who is led down the wrong path by them is not wise.
A king's anger is like a lion's roar. Anyone who makes him angry may lose his life.
Avoiding a fight brings honor to a man, but every foolish person is quick to argue.
Anyone who refuses to work doesn't plow in the right season. When he looks for a crop at harvest time, he doesn't find it.
The purposes of a man's heart are like deep water, but a man who has understanding brings them out.
Many claim to have love that never fails, but who can find a faithful man?
Anyone who does what is right lives without blame. Blessed are his children after him.
A king sits on his throne to judge. He gets rid of all evil when he sees it.
No one can say, I have kept my heart pure. I'm clean. I haven't sinned.
The Lord hates two things. He hates weights that weigh things heavier or lighter than they really are. He also hates measures that measure things larger or smaller than they really are.
A child is known by his actions. He is known by whether his conduct is pure and right.
The Lord has made two things. He has made ears that hear. He has also made eyes that see.
Don't love sleep, or you will become poor. Stay awake, and you will have more food than you need.
It's no good. It's no good, says a buyer. Then off he goes and brags about what he bought.
There is gold. There are plenty of rubies. But lips that speak knowledge are a priceless jewel.
Take the coat of one who puts up money for what a stranger owes. Hold it until you get paid back if he does it for a woman who commits adultery.
Food gained by cheating tastes sweet to a man, but he will end up with a mouth full of sand.
Make plans by asking for guidance. If you go to war, get good advice.
A person who talks about others tells secrets, so avoid anyone who talks too much.
If anyone calls down curses on his father or mother, his lamp will be blown out in total darkness.
Property you gain quickly at the beginning will not be blessed in the end.
Don't say, I'll get even with you for the wrong you did to me. Wait for the Lord, and he will save you.
The Lord hates weights that weigh things heavier or lighter than they really are. Scales that are not honest don't please him.
The Lord directs a man's steps. So how can anyone understand his own way?
A man is trapped if he makes a hasty promise to God and only later thinks about what he said.
A wise king gets rid of evil people. He runs the threshing wheel over them.
The lamp of the Lord searches a man's heart. It searches deep down inside him.
Love and truth keep a king safe. Faithful love makes his throne secure.
Young men are proud of their strength. Gray hair brings honor to old men.
Blows and wounds wash evil away. And beatings make you pure deep down inside.
The king's heart is in the hand of the Lord. He directs it like a stream of water anywhere he pleases.
Everything a man does might seem right to him, but the Lord knows what he is thinking.
Do what is right and fair. The Lord accepts that more than sacrifices.
Proud eyes and a proud heart are the lamp of sinful people, but those things are evil.
The plans of people who work hard succeed. You can be sure that those in a hurry will become poor.
A fortune made by people who tell lies amounts to nothing and leads to death.
The harmful things that evil people do will drag them away. They refuse to do what is right.
The path of those who are guilty is crooked, but the conduct of those who are not guilty is honest.
It is better to live on a corner of a roof than to share a house with a nagging wife.
A sinful person longs to do evil. He doesn't show his neighbor any mercy.
When you punish someone who makes fun of others, childish people get wise. If you teach a person who is already wise, he will get even more knowledge.
The blameless one knows where sinners live, and he destroys them.
If you refuse to listen to the cries of poor people, you too will cry out and not be answered.
A secret gift calms anger down. A hidden favor softens great anger.
When you do what is fair, you make godly people glad. But you terrify those who do what is evil.
A man who leaves the path of understanding ends up with those who are dead.
Anyone who loves pleasure will become poor. Anyone who loves wine and oil will never be rich.
Those who do what is evil pay the price for setting godly people free. Those who aren't faithful pay the price for honest people.
It is better to live in a desert than to live with a nagging, angry wife.
The best food and olive oil are stored up in the houses of wise people, but a foolish man eats up everything he has.
Anyone who wants to be godly and loving finds life, success and honor.
Those who are wise can attack a strong city. They can pull down the place of safety its people trust in.
Anyone who is careful about what he says keeps himself out of trouble.
A proud person is called a mocker. He thinks much too highly of himself.
Some people will die while they are still hungry. That's because their hands refuse to work.
All day long they hunger for more. But godly people give without holding back.
God hates sacrifices that are brought by evil people. He hates it even more when they bring them for the wrong reason.
Witnesses who aren't honest will die, and anyone who listens to them will be destroyed forever.
A sinful man tries to look as if he were bold, but an honest person thinks about how he lives.
No wisdom, wise saying or plan can succeed against the Lord.
You can prepare a horse for the day of battle, but the power to win comes from the Lord. You should want a good name more than you want great riches. To be highly respected is better than having silver or gold.
The Lord made rich people and poor people. That's what they have in common.
Wise people see danger and go to a safe place, but childish people keep going and suffer for it.
Have respect for the Lord and don't be proud. That will bring you wealth and honor and life.
Thorns and traps lie in the paths of evil people, but those who guard themselves stay far away from them.
Train a child in the way he should go. When he is old, he will not turn away from it.
Rich people rule over those who are poor. Borrowers are slaves to lenders.
Anyone who plants evil gathers a harvest of trouble. His power to beat others down will be destroyed.
Anyone who gives freely will be blessed. That's because he shares his food with those who are poor.
If you drive away those who make fun of others, fighting also goes away. Arguing and unkind words will stop.
Have a pure and loving heart, and speak kindly. Then you will be a friend of the king.
The eyes of the Lord keep watch over knowledge, but he does away with the words of those who aren't faithful.
People who don't want to work say, "There's a lion outside." Or they say, "I'll be murdered if I go out into the streets."
The mouth of a woman who commits adultery is like a deep pit. Any man the Lord is angry with will fall into it.
A child is going to do foolish things, but correcting him will drive his foolishness far away from him.
One person may beat poor people down in order to get rich. Another person may give gifts to rich people. Both of them will become poor.
Sayings are those who are wise. Pay attention and listen to the sayings of those who are wise. Apply your heart to the sayings I teach.
It is pleasing when you keep them in your heart. Have all of them ready on your lips.
You are the one I am teaching today. I want you to trust in the Lord.
I have written 30 sayings for you. They will give you knowledge and good advice.
I am teaching you words that are completely true. Then you can give the right answers to the one who sent you.
Don't take advantage of poor people just because they are poor. Don't beat down those who are in need by taking them to court.
The Lord will stand up for them in court. He will take back the stolen goods from those who have robbed them.
Don't be a friend with anyone who burns with anger. Don't go around with a person who gets angry easily.
You might learn his habits, and then you will be trapped by them.
Don't agree to pay for what someone else owes.
Don't put up money for him. If you don't have the money to pay, your bed will be taken right out from under you.
Don't move old boundary stones that your people set up long ago.
Do you see a man who does good work? He will serve kings. He won't serve ordinary people. When you sit down to eat with a ruler, look carefully at what's in front of you.
Put a knife to your throat if you like to eat too much.
Don't long for his fancy food. It can fool you.
Don't wear yourself out to get rich. Be wise enough to say no.
When you take even a quick look at riches, they are gone. They grow wings and fly away into the sky like an eagle.
Don't eat the food of anyone who won't share it. Don't long for his fancy food.
He is the kind of person who is always thinking about how much it costs. Eat and drink, he says to you. But he doesn't mean it.
You will throw up what little you have eaten. You will have wasted your words of praise.
Don't speak to a foolish person. He will laugh at your wise words.
Don't move old boundary stones. Don't try to take over the fields of children whose fathers have died.
The one who guards them is strong. He will stand up for them in court against you.
Apply your heart to what you are taught. Listen carefully to words of knowledge.
Don't hold back training from a child. If you correct him, he won't die.
So correct him. Then you will save him from death.
My child, if your heart is wise, my heart will be glad.
Deep down inside, I will be happy when you say what is right.
Do not long for what sinners have, but always show great respect for the Lord.
There really is hope for you tomorrow. So your hope will not be cut off.
My child, listen and be wise. Keep your heart on the right path.
Don't join those who drink too much wine. Don't join those who stuff themselves with meat.
Those who drink or eat too much will become poor. If they sleep too much, they'll have to wear rags.
Listen to your father, who gave you life. Don't hate your mother when she is old.
Buy the truth. Don't sell it. Get wisdom, training and understanding.
The father of a godly child is very happy. Anyone who has a wise child is glad.
May your father and mother be glad. May the woman who gave birth to you be happy.
My son, give me your heart. Keep your eyes on the way I live.
A prostitute is like a deep pit. A wife who commits adultery is like a narrow well.
She hides and waits like a thief. She causes many men to sin.
Who has trouble? Who has sorrow? Who argues? Who has problems? Who has wounds for no reason? Who has red eyes?
Those who spend too much time with wine. Or those who like to taste wine that is mixed with spices.
Don't look at wine when it is red. Don't look at it when it bubbles in the cup. And don't look at it when it goes down smoothly.
In the end it bites like a snake. It bites like a poisonous serpent.
Your eyes will see strange sights. Your mind will imagine weird things.
You will feel like someone sleeping on the ocean. You will think you are lying among the ropes in a boat.
They hit me, you will say. But I'm not hurt. They beat me. But I don't feel it. When will I wake up so I can find another drink? Do not want what evil men have. Don't long to be with them.
In their hearts they plan to hurt others. With their lips they talk about making trouble.
By wisdom a house is built. Through understanding it is made secure.
Through knowledge its rooms are filled with priceless and beautiful things.
A wise man has great power. A man who has knowledge increases his strength.
If you go to war, you need guidance. If you want to win, you need many good advisors.
Wisdom is too high for anyone who is foolish. He has nothing to say when people meet at the city gate to conduct business.
Anyone who thinks up sinful things to do will be known as one who plans evil.
Foolish plans are sinful. People hate those who make fun of others.
If you grow weak when trouble comes, your strength is very small.
Save those who are being led away to death. Hold back those who are about to be killed.
Don't say, "But we didn't know anything about this." The one who knows what you are thinking sees it. The one who guards your life knows it. He will pay each person back for what he has done.
Eat honey, my child. It is good. Honey from a honeycomb has a sweet taste.
I want you to know that wisdom is sweet to you. If you find it, there is hope for you tomorrow. So your hope will not be cut off.
Don't hide and wait like a burglar at a godly person's house. Don't rob his home.
Even if godly people fall down 7 times, they always get up. But those who are evil are brought down by trouble.
Don't be happy when your enemy falls. When he trips, don't let your heart be glad.
The Lord will see it, but he won't be pleased. He might turn his anger away from your enemy.
Don't be upset because of evil people. Don't long for what sinners have.
Tomorrow evil people won't have any hope. The lamps of sinners will be blown out.
My son, have respect for the Lord and the King. Don't join those who disobey them.
The Lord and the King will suddenly destroy them. Who knows what trouble those two can bring?
More sayings are those who are wise. Here are more sayings of those who are wise. Taking sides in court is not good.
A curse will fall on those who say the guilty are not guilty. Nations will call down curses on them. People will speak against them.
But it will go well with those who sentence guilty people. Rich blessings will come to them.
An honest answer is like a kiss on the lips.
Finish your outdoor work. Get your fields ready. After that, build your house.
Don't give witness against your neighbor without any reason. Don't use your lips to tell lies.
Don't say, "I'll do to him what he did to me. I'll get even with that man for what he did."
I went past the field of someone who didn't want to work. I went past the vineyard of a man who didn't have any sense.
Thorns had grown up everywhere. The ground was covered with weeds. The stone wall had fallen down.
I applied my heart to what I observed. I learned a lesson from what I saw.
You might sleep a little or take a little nap. You might even fold your hands and rest.
Then you would be poor, as if someone had robbed you. You would have little, as if someone had stolen from you.
More Proverbs of Solomon. These are more Proverbs of Solomon. They were copied down by the men of Hezekiah, the king of Judah.
When God hides a matter, he gets glory. When kings figure out a matter, they get glory.
The heavens are high and the earth is deep. In the same way, the minds of kings are hard to figure out.
Remove the scum from the silver. Then the master worker can make something.
Remove sinful people from where the king is. When he does what is right, his kingdom will be secure.
Don't brag in front of the king. Don't claim a place among great people.
Let the king say to you, "Come up here." That's better than for him to shame you in front of nobles. What you have seen with your own eyes,
Don't bring too quickly to court. What will you do in the end if your neighbor puts you to shame?
If you talk about a matter with your neighbor, don't tell others what was said.
If you do, someone might hear it and put you to shame. Then no one will ever respect you again.
The right word at the right time is like golden apples in silver jewelry.
A wise person's warning to a listening ear is like a gold earring or jewelry made of fine gold.
A messenger trusted by those who sent him is like cool snow at harvest time. He renews the spirit of his masters.
A man who brags about gifts he doesn't give is like wind and clouds that don't produce rain.
If you are patient, you can win an official over to your side. And gentle words can break a bone.
If you find honey, eat just enough. If you eat too much of it, you will throw up.
Don't go to your neighbor's home very often. If he sees too much of you, he will hate you.
A man who gives false witness against his neighbor is like a club, a sword or a sharp arrow.
Trusting someone who is not faithful when trouble comes is like a bad tooth or a disabled foot.
You may sing songs to a troubled heart, but that's like taking a coat away on a cold day. It's like pouring vinegar on baking soda.
If your enemy is hungry, give him food to eat. If he is thirsty, give him water to drink.
By doing those things, you will pile up burning coals on his head, and the Lord will reward you.
The north wind brings rain, and a crafty tongue brings angry looks.
It is better to live on a corner of a roof than to share a house with a nagging wife.
Hearing good news from a land far away is like drinking cold water when you are tired.
Sometimes a godly person gives in to those who are evil. Then he becomes like a muddy spring of water or a polluted well.
It isn't good for you to eat too much honey. And you shouldn't try to get others to honor you.
A man who can't control himself is like a city whose walls are broken down.
It isn't proper to honor a foolish person. That's like having snow in summer or rain at harvest time.
A curse given for no reason is like a wandering bird or a flying sparrow. It doesn't go anywhere.
A whip is for a horse. A harness is for a donkey. And a beating is for the backs of foolish people.
Don't answer a foolish person in keeping with his foolish acts. If you do, you will be like him yourself.
Answer a foolish person in keeping with his foolish acts. If you do, he won't be wise in his own eyes.
Sending a message in the hand of a foolish person is like cutting off your feet or drinking something harmful.
A proverb in the mouth of a foolish person is like disabled legs that are useless.
Giving honor to a foolish person is like tying a stone in a slingshot.
A proverb in the mouth of a foolish person is like a thorn in the hand of someone who is drunk.
Anyone who hires a foolish person or someone who is passing by is like a person who shoots arrows at just anybody.
A foolish person who does the same foolish things again is like a dog that returns to where it is thrown up.
Do you see a man who is wise in his own eyes? There is more hope for a foolish person than for him.
A person who doesn't want to work says, "There's a lion in the road. There's an angry lion wandering in the streets."
A person who doesn't want to work turns over in bed just like a door that swings back and forth.
A person who doesn't want to work leaves his hand in the dish. He acts as if he is too tired to bring it back up to his mouth.
A person who doesn't want to work is wiser in his own eyes than 7 people who give careful answers.
Don't get mixed up in someone else's fight as you are passing by. That's like picking a dog up by its ears.
Suppose a crazy person shoots flaming arrows that can kill.
A man who lies to his neighbor and says, "I was only joking," is just like that person.
If you don't have wood, your fire goes out. If you don't talk about others, arguing dies down.
Coal glows, wood burns, and a man who argues stirs up fights.
The words of anyone who talks about others are like tasty bites of food. They go deep down inside you.
Warm words that come from an evil heart are like shiny paint on a clay pot.
Someone who wants to hurt you uses his words to hide his hatred. But his heart is full of lies that cover up his evil plans.
What a person says can be charming, but don't believe him. 7 things that God hates can fill that person's heart.
Hatred can be hidden by lies, but what is evil will be shown to everyone.
If anyone digs a pit, he will fall into it. If he rolls a big stone, it will roll back on him.
A tongue that tells lies hates the people it hurts, and words that seem to praise you destroy you.
Don't brag about tomorrow. You don't know what a day will bring.
Let another person praise you, and not your own mouth. Let someone else praise you, and not your own lips.
Stones are heavy. Sand weighs a lot. But letting a foolish person make you angry is a heavier load than both of them.
Anger is mean. Great anger overpowers you. But who can face jealousy?
Being warned openly is better than being loved in secret.
Wounds from a friend can be trusted, but an enemy kisses you many times.
When you are full, you even hate honey. When you are hungry, even what is bitter tastes sweet.
A man who wanders away from his home is like a bird that wanders from its nest.
Perfume and incense bring joy to your heart, and a friend is sweeter when he gives you honest advice.
Don't desert your friend or your father's friend. And don't go to your family when trouble strikes you. A neighbor nearby is better than a family member far away.
My child, be wise and bring joy to my heart. Then I can answer anyone who makes fun of me.
Wise people see danger and go to a safe place. But childish people keep on going and suffer for it.
Take the coat of one who puts up money for what a stranger owes. Hold it until you get paid back if he does it for a woman who commits adultery.
Suppose you loudly bless your neighbor early in the morning. Then you might as well be calling down a curse on him.
A nagging wife is like dripping that never stops on a rainy day.
Stopping her is like trying to stop the wind. It's like trying to grab oil with your hand.
As iron sharpens iron, so one person sharpens another.
A person who takes good care of a fig tree will eat its fruit. And a person who looks after his master will be honored.
When you look into water, you see a likeness of your face. When you look into your heart, you see what you are really like.
Death and the grave are never satisfied. A man's eyes are never satisfied either.
Fire tests silver. Heat tests gold. But a man is tested by the praise he receives.
You can grind a foolish person in a mill. You can grind him as you would grind grain with a tool. But you can't remove his foolishness from him.
Be sure you know how your flocks are doing. Pay careful attention to your herds.
Riches don't last forever, and a crown is not secure for all time to come.
The hay is removed, and new growth appears. The grass from the hills is gathered in.
Then your lambs will provide you with clothes. And the money from selling your goats will buy you a field.
You will have plenty of goat's milk. It will feed you and your family. It will also feed your female servants. Sinners run away even when no one is chasing them. But those who do what is right are as bold as lions.
A country has many rulers when its people don't obey. But an understanding king knows how to keep order.
A ruler who beats poor people down is like a pounding rain that leaves no crops.
Those who turn away from the law praise sinners. But those who obey the law oppose them.
Sinful men don't understand what is fair. But those who worship the Lord understand it completely.
It is better to be poor and live without blame than to be rich and follow a crooked path.
A child who obeys the law understands what is right. But a child who likes to eat too much brings shame on his father.
A person who increases his wealth by charging high interest piles it up for someone who will be kind to poor people.
If you don't pay attention to the law, even your prayers are hated.
Those who lead honest people down an evil path will fall into their own trap. But those who are without blame will receive good things.
Rich people may be wise in their own eyes. But a poor person who understands what is right knows what they are really like.
When godly people win, everyone is very happy. But when sinners take charge, everyone hides.
Anyone who hides his sins doesn't succeed. But anyone who admits his sins and gives them up finds mercy.
Blessed is the one who always has respect for the Lord. But anyone who is stubborn will get into trouble.
An evil person who rules over helpless people is like a roaring lion or an angry bear.
A ruler who is mean to his people doesn't have any sense. But anyone who hates money gained in the wrong way will enjoy a long life.
A man who is troubled because he is guilty of murder will be on the run until the day he dies. No one should give him any help.
Anyone who lives without blame is kept safe. But anyone whose path is crooked will suddenly fall.
Anyone who farms his land will have plenty of food. But anyone who chases dreams will be very poor.
A faithful man will be richly blessed. But anyone who wants to get rich will be punished.
Favoring one person over another is not good. But some men will do wrong for a piece of bread.
A man who won't share what he has wants to get rich. He doesn't know he is going to be poor.
It is better to warn a man than to pretend to praise him. In the end he will be more pleased with you.
Anyone who steals from his parents and says, "It's not wrong," is just like a man who destroys.
A person who always wants more stirs up fights. But anyone who trusts in the Lord will succeed.
Anyone who trusts in himself is foolish. But a person who lives wisely is kept safe.
Those who give to poor people will have everything they need. But those who close their eyes to the poor will be under many curses.
When those who are evil take charge, other people hide. But when those who are evil die, godly people grow stronger.
A man who still won't obey after being warned many times will suddenly be destroyed. Nothing can save him.
When those who do right grow stronger, the people are glad. But when those who do wrong become rulers, the people groan.
A man who loves wisdom makes his father glad. But a man who spends time with prostitutes wastes his father's wealth.
By doing what is fair, a king makes a country secure. But the one who wants to be paid off tears it down.
A man who only pretends to praise his neighbor is spreading a net to catch him by the feet.
A sinful man is trapped by his own sin. But a godly person can sing and be glad.
Those who do what is right want to treat poor people fairly. But those who do what is wrong don't care about the poor.
Those who make fun of others stir up a city. But wise people turn anger away.
Suppose a wise man goes to court with a foolish person. Then the foolish person gets mad and pokes fun. And there is no peace.
Murderers hate honest people. They try to kill those who do what is right.
A foolish person lets his anger run wild. But a wise person keeps himself under control.
If rulers listen to lies, all their officials become evil.
The Lord gives sight to the eyes of poor people and those who beat others down. That's what they both have in common.
If a king judges poor people fairly, his throne will always be secure.
If a child is corrected, he becomes wise. but a child left to himself brings shame to his mother.
When those who do wrong grow stronger, so does sin. But those who do right will see them destroyed.
If you train your children, they will give you peace. They will bring delight to you.
Where there is no message from God, the people don't control themselves. But blessed are those who obey the law.
A servant can't be corrected only by words. Even if he understands, he won't obey.
Have you seen a man who speaks without thinking? There is more hope for foolish people than for him.
If you spoil your servant while he is young, he will bring you sorrow later on.
An angry man stirs up fights, and a person who burns with anger commits many sins.
If a man is proud, he will be made low. But if he isn't proud, he will be honored.
Anyone who helps a thief is his own enemy. When he is put under oath, he doesn't dare give witness.
If you are afraid of people, it will trap you. But if you trust in the Lord, he will keep you safe.
Many people want to meet a ruler, but only the Lord sees that people are treated fairly.
Those who do what is right hate dishonest people. Those who do what is wrong hate honest people. The sayings of Agur. These sayings are the words of Agur, son of Jacob. He spoke them as if they came from God. He spoke them to Ithiel and Ugael.
He said, I know less than anyone. I don't understand as other men do.
I haven't learned wisdom, and I don't know the Holy One.
Who has gone up to heaven and come down? Who has gathered up the wind in the palms of his hands? Who has wrapped up the waters in his coat? Who has set all the boundaries of the earth in place? What is his name? What is his son's name? Tell me if you know.
Every word of God is perfect. He is like a shield to those who trust in him. He keeps them safe.
Don't add to his words. If you do, he will correct you. He will prove that you are a liar.
Lord, I ask you for 2 things. Don't refuse me before I die.
Keep lies far away from me. Don't make me either poor or rich, but give me only the bread I need each day.
If you don't, I might have too much. Then I might say I don't know you. I might say, who is the Lord? Or I might become poor and steal. Then I would bring shame to the name of my God.
Don't tell lies about a servant when you talk to his master. If you do, he will call down curses on you, and you will pay for it.
Some people call down curses on their fathers. Others don't bless their mothers.
Some are pure in their own eyes, but their dirty sins haven't been washed away.
Some have eyes that are very proud. They look down on others.
Some people have teeth like swords. The teeth in their jaws are as sharp as knives. They are ready to eat up the poor people of the earth. They are ready to eat up those who are the most needy.
A blood-sucking worm has 2 daughters. They cry out, give, give. 3 things are never satisfied. 4 things never say, enough.
The first is the grave. The second is a woman who can't have a baby. The third is land. It never gets enough water. And the fourth is fire. It never says, enough.
Some make fun of their fathers. Others laugh about obeying their mothers. The ravens of the valley will peck their eyes out. Then the vultures will eat them.
3 things are too amazing for me. There are 4 things I don't understand.
The first is the way of an eagle in the sky. The second is the way of a snake on a rock. The third is the way of a ship on the ocean. And the fourth is the way of a man with a young woman.
This is the way of a woman who commits adultery. She eats. She wipes her mouth. Then she says, I haven't done anything wrong.
Under 3 things the earth shakes. Under 4 things it can't stand up.
The first is a servant who becomes a king. The second is a foolish person who is full of food.
The third is a woman who is married but not loved by her husband. And the fourth is a woman servant who takes the place of the woman she works for.
4 things on earth are small, but they are very wise.
The first are ants. They aren't very strong, but they store up their food in the summer.
The second are rock badgers. They aren't very powerful, but they make their home among the rocks.
The third are locusts. They don't have a king, but they all march forward in ranks.
And the fourth are lizards. Your hand can catch them, but you will find them in kings' palaces.
3 things walk as if they were kings. 4 things move as kings do.
The first is a lion. It is mighty among the animals. It doesn't back away from anything.
The second is a rooster that walks proudly. The third is a billy goat. And the fourth is a king who has his army around him.
Have you been foolish? Have you thought you were better than others? Have you planned evil? If you have, put your hand over your mouth and stop talking.
If you churn cream, you will produce butter. If you twist a nose, you will produce blood. And if you stir up anger, you will produce a fight. The sayings of King Lemuel. These are the sayings of King Lemuel. His mother taught them to him. She spoke them as if they came from God.
She said, "My son, my very own son, the son I prayed for."
Don't waste your strength on women. Don't waste it on those who destroy kings.
Lemuel, it isn't good for kings to drink wine. It isn't good for rulers to long for beer.
If they do, they might drink and forget what the law commands. They might take away the rights of all those who are beaten down.
Give beer to those who are dying. Give wine to those who are sad and troubled.
Let them drink and forget how poor they are. Let them forget their suffering.
Speak up for those who can't speak for themselves. Speak up for the rights of all those who are poor.
Speak up and judge fairly. Speak up for the rights of those who are poor and needy.
The noble wife, who can find a nobler wife? She is worth far more than rubies.
Her husband trusts her completely. She gives him all the important things he needs.
She brings him good, not harm, all the days of her life.
She chooses wool and flax. She loves to work with her hands.
She is like the ships of traders. She brings her food from far away.
She gets up while it is still dark. She provides food for her family. She also gives some to her female servants.
She considers a field and buys it. She uses some of the money she earns to plant a vineyard.
She gets ready to work hard. Her arms are strong.
She sees that her trading earns a lot of money. Her lamp doesn't go out at night.
With one hand she holds the wool. With the other she spins the thread.
She opens her arms to those who are poor. She reaches out her hands to those who are needy.
When it snows, she's not afraid for her family. All of them are dressed in the finest clothes.
She makes her own bed coverings. She is dressed in fine linen and purple clothes.
Her husband is respected at the city gate. There he takes his seat among the elders of the land.
She makes linen clothes and sells them. She supplies belts to the traders.
She puts on strength and honor as if they were her clothes. She can laugh at the days that are coming.
She speaks wisely. She teaches faithfully.
She watches over family matters. She is busy all the time.
Her children stand up and call her blessed. Her husband also rises up, and he praises her.
He says, "Many women do noble things, but you are better than all the others."
Charm can fool you. Beauty fades. But a woman who has respect for the Lord should be praised.
Give her the reward she has earned. Let everything she has done bring praise to her at the city gate.